Hi. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday, your middle of the week, your hump day. I hope you're all feeling really well and you're happy it's hump day, baby. Today we have Inktober day 28. That's right, guys, 28. So if you've done all of the drawings for Inktober so far, obviously we only do the Monday to Friday ones and sometimes not even, then give yourself a massive pat on the back because it's quite a difficult feat to complete. Didn't mean to rhyme. Today we've got a lovely prompt word, and I'm going to be honest, I'm winging it a bit, but we have done a similar drawing to this before, so I'm hoping it just all floods back to me as we go. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, and I hope that you have fun anyway. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay. So the prompt word today is float. Let's get this. That's more like it. Get it right. Float. So float, like, there's obviously many things you could do. You could do like levitation. You could do like a float of money, like a money float at a fair, just have a little box of money. You could do balloons floating in the sky. Are they floating or are they flying? I'm not sure. Or you could do something in water, which is the theme we are going for today. So we're first going to start our composition by drawing a oblong in the middle of our page, like so. It doesn't have to be perfect, as always. Ooh, definitely not perfect, but that's okay. Running out of ink. I'm going to come at it from this end. You'd think I would have mastered the dip pen by now, but hey ho. So that is my oblong. And guess what that is going to be, guys? That is going to be something. So we're going to come back to that later. Now I want to frame my oblong, and I'm going to do that by drawing various shapes coming in on this side and on this side. So for example, let's start with a line. Actually, we could do a few lines coming in different directions. That's a bit easier to handle. So a few lines there, and let's do the same on the other side. Just random. Okay, beautiful. Then with these lines, we're going to form them into like things. So leaves or bushy things or whatever you want, actually, whatever comes to your mind. But I'm going to do kind of like we did with the rocket drawing when we were drawing lots of rocket. Do you remember that? So that forms like a funny shaped leaf. And you can do just a simple shape, a nice kind of classic leaf shape. You could do whatever you want. You could go really wild. Let's do kind of a fern shape. Not really. It's not really a fern shape, is it? So I have trouble with this pen and this paper, and I know why, because this paper is slightly textured, you can see, and usually with a dip pen it's easier to just use a flat hot pressed paper, but I ran out of that lovely paper. Okay, I'm going to come up here and do another, I might do a long thin one, and up here I might do a wibbly one. Like that. Okay, so I have a few different variations going on there. I can do the same on the other side. I can also build these up so that they don't just look like Oh, lovely few different variations. Although if you like the simple look, then keep it simple. But for example, I could do another one of these wobbly babies coming out there. And draw the stalk bit down the middle, like that. Could also just do random bits of kind of grassy, shrubby stuff to just kind of fill out the in between spaces, but you don't want to go too wild. Mirror this one. And in all sorts of directions. But we don't want to spend forever on the sides because we need to think about what's going to go on here. So as we're doing this, yeah, you can have a little think because it could be anything. So I'm going to put some little ones down here as well. I'm going to do, well, in my mind, I was envisaging something floating down a river. So we've done a drawing like this where we did swimmers swimming down a nice river. That was inspired by, I believe, Chloe Joyce illustrations. I tagged her on the video in which I wasn't directly inspired by one of her works. She's got loads of gorgeous stuff. Check her out. But that was two swimmers, and now we have a lilo or whatever. So you could be imaginative and put whatever you want on this lilo. Could be animals, could be people, could be one person. I think I'm gonna do. Oh, it's so difficult. Maybe I'll just think about it as I do these other leaves on the other side. So let's start at the top. Do another kind of fern. Or if you've got another idea for float that springs to mind with the base that we've drawn together, then feel free to do that as well, as always. And just always a big old leaf here. Always content to draw leaves. Another big one there. Some little bits. Some grassy bits. I mean, like, I don't know how they did it in the olden days, having to re-dip your pen. I guess it's more of a mindful exercise when you're writing, but imagine like writing everything like with a dip, with a pot of ink and a feather or something. I mean, these nibs now, they're like refined, so they do what they're supposed to do. But back in the day, add a few bits of always quite a good little thing. All right, so now we have our 2 rows. Now what is it gonna be? I might do, now you could do the classic sun hat and then like the back of someone's body, but is that boring? Is that boring? Yes, it is. You could have limbs hanging off as if they're kind of floating in the water. You could have 2 like kids or something hanging out playing. Or you could have, no, I'm going to do like a kind of ripple in the water so that it's suggesting it's kind of moving downstream. maybe I'll just turn this lovely, serene, peaceful drawing into like a silly cartoon like I usually do, and put some kind of character on it. You could also put things around the lilo if you're, like me, a little bit timid today, not what to do. You could put like a little duck or something, or some kind of, maybe I'll do a little ducky here. Just coming out here, just making it up. Oh, it's got quite a defined beak there. That means business. And of course, my perspective is completely crazy because you'd be looking at the top of the duck, but what's done is done. Let's maybe put, maybe he's on his side having a little chill. All right, Ness, just commit to something, do something. Let's do a person lying on their side. Yeah, that's what's happening. So I'm going to do the shoulder and the arm, maybe like the little hand holding maybe a book or something. Maybe they've fallen asleep. That's the shoulder and the arm. You could also just draw a lilo if you don't want this stress. And maybe I'll do like hair falling. I realise this isn't very tutorial-y. This is supposed to be hair, guys. Lots and lots of hair, so that I don't really have to draw a face. That's just a little nose there. And then we have the body coming down. In a very weird now not situation, but I mean, it doesn't quite add up, does it, this? But and then her other arm coming kind of down awkwardly. She's going to wake up and be like, oh my God, my arm is dead. Not sure what's going on with her torso and her top. Maybe she's got a floaty kind of top situation. Guys, what have I done? Should have just left it. I might get the brush to help me and do some block colors because that does not satisfy me. Let's put a little ankle, inner ankle, knee. Let's get the brush. I loved it up until this point. But like, you know, I do admit that sometimes it goes wrong and I don't love it. I can look back at yesterday's painting and be like, oh, maybe I need some coffee. Whoa, that's hot. Damn, that's hot. All right, let's turn this into a block painting style. Because you can always save it if you don't like it, I think. Would have been cute to do maybe like a little animal having a nice time. The animals I find animals difficult with like to just draw from my mind. I really need references when it comes to animals. All right, already I prefer it with the block colour for the hair. Maybe that's good enough. Maybe I don't hate it now. Just a few kind of wisps. Go look a little bit wispy. That's kind of all right now, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, I think so. And then I'm going to just add extra bits of depth because this is obviously the key bit that everyone's looking at. And I'm going to paint the in-betweens of the leaves. It's kind of got Ophelia vibes, isn't it? Just a lady floating down a riverbed. Nothing to see here. Okay, a bit of water. More water and just spread that out. So my conclusion is that ink is actually quite forgiving because you can always just cover it up when you make a rubbish drawing, but also you can do cool stuff with it if you grab a little brush and have a little play around. And so like this pot of ink, I think it cost me about six euros. And that's a nice pot of ink, you know, but it's massive and it will last me hopefully for a while. This paintbrush probably, I got it as a group of paintbrushes for my workshops, my in-person workshops. But I don't think it was that expensive. I mean, the small ones are relatively cheap. So, yeah, like invest if you're enjoying ink. It's not too much of an investment. A lot cheaper than buying watercolors, but obviously I love watercolors too. But if you're not sure if you're just getting into it, into drawing, and you want to play around with a more kind of painterly approach, but you don't want to buy a whole set of paints, then get a pot of ink. Because it's like, yeah, teaches you about the application and gives you a sense of how much control you have over your brush and placing the color, whether that's black or whatever color ink you get. Does this look creepy or does it look cool? I'm not sure. Creepy or cool? Well, I guess it is coming up to Halloween, so if it looks creepy, then it's kind of on point, right? You can see the beautiful blend of the water with the ink there. And a few more bits of black ink there. Could also do this with a nice deep blue, but this is kind of grey blue ink anyway. It's very quiet now. Where's all the noise gone? Neighbours no longer DIYing. Mind you, we put up some shelves last night, not late, at about 7, so we can't really complain. But just part of living on top of one another, isn't it? Okie dokie. So, do we like this? I'm not sure. I think I like the way that this is kind of going about. I think maybe it would look nice without this middle bit, but we have to stick to the float thing. I guess you could have just done a few ducks floating down the river. That would have been, in hindsight, that would have been a lot more straightforward and also probably better. But we live and learn. Maybe you've drawn something cool on your floating thing. You can add, I think I'll just add as a final touch, like the little lines you get on your floating device to give you a bit of grip. Your lilo or whatever it's called. And I guess you could also add kind of shade to the sides and stuff, but I think I'm going to leave it there because I think I've done enough today. So there we go. I hope that you enjoyed that and got something from it, or just laughed at my struggle. Either way, I hope it made you feel good and you feel chill and ready to tackle your Wednesday or whatever day it is for you, whatever time it is for you. I'll be back here tomorrow for tomorrow's prompt. Actually, yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Don't know where the thing is, but I'm sure it'll be good because it'll be day 29 and then it'll be day 30 and then it will be day 31, but that's a Saturday. So 2 more days of Inktober on YouTube Live with me. Exciting. Take care of yourselves and I will see you tomorrow morning.